At least maybe we'll pass each other on the highway somewhere. It's been a interesting 2 months to say the least. There's a lot going on and there's not a lot going on. That's a mixed message, I know, but many clubs are meeting with social distancing. Some are hardly meeting at all. But some of the highlights of from Rotary that I think are really important. Many of you have heard, but many probably have not heard, that in 2022-23, Jennifer Jones from Windsor, Ontario, Canada will be the Rotary International President if she's confirmed on October 1st, which I fully expect she will be. She's been a presenter at Show Me Rotary more than one occasion in district conferences that I remember. I had the pleasure to meet her in Atlanta and in Tucson, Arizona. Very personable, gives a great presentation, totally dedicated to Rotary and our causes, connects well with people. And when the news broke, I guess 2 or 3 weeks ago, social media just blew up. It was just amazing how positive the responses that I saw were from all over the country and probably all over the world. So I was frankly a little surprised because, you know, the vote goes, from what I understand, our representatives from around the world vote on this, and perhaps some countries aren't as favorable toward women as other countries as ours is, I think. So I was very pleased. And I also really want to make sure I thank Dave Robinette. You're muted, so you can't say anything, but Dave, you've been a tremendous help the last 3 years, really, but more importantly, the last 3 or 4 months to try to get me steering in the right direction. Todd Lindley, you helped a great deal as well with your encouragement and kind words all the time. And I'm still liking doing what I'm doing. So I think it's going pretty well considering what we're doing. The other big story I think affects Rotary is the country of Nigeria has been declared polio free, wild virus polio free, and that leaves us with just Pakistan and Afghanistan left. I had a picture saved, but I can't seem to find it now. But Todd, you mentioned the other day how big Africa is. We could put the continent of United States, China, probably Europe, all in the outline of Africa to give you an idea of how big it is. And somehow I don't think the transportation system is quite as good as the United States and Canada. And I'm sorry I'm flickering. I'm getting the Wi-Fi off Taco Bell, so I'm sorry. So it's so weird to see everybody so quiet. And most of you are still here. That's a good thing. Well, anyway, back to the polio situation. We have 2 countries left, Afghanistan and Pakistan. From what I understand, they're doing vaccinations again, which is good, and we need to. This year, for our district, Gail Fernandez from the Webster Groves Club is acting as polio chair. I'm trying to get together with her to come up with some event to bring attention to polio on October 24th, which, as we all know, is World Polio Day. We try to do something on that day. The ride-in polio this calendar year has been moved up to next April for the COVID virus conditions. They moved it to April because April in Tucson pretty much mirrors what the weather would be like in Tucson in November. So it's going to be pretty close to the same. I'm really hoping to go. I can't see why I would not go. I mean, I threatened to go to Tucson in November and do my own ride if I needed to, but I still want to stay away from airplanes if I can, and airports. And although, as Bob Courtney said, there's nobody there anyway. So, a third item it's kind of in the news is Rotary International Board of Directors has just added sustaining the environment as an area of focus. And I think a lot of what we do has the environment in mind, but I think this is great to see the recognition of that. I know if you've seen your Rotary magazine in the last several months, there's some good articles on plastic soup in the oceans, and they're really, really quite a mess. So I'm really glad that's going to happen. There's some initiatives in our zone for a Mississippi River project, and there's going to be a project on September 26th to try to gather people to clean up plastics and other trash along the rivers. And this initiative could stretch all the way from Minnesota all the way down to New Orleans. And the research I've seen is there's many clubs that are really not very far away from the river, and especially in our district, because I think in our district, there's probably no club that's more than an hour away from the Mississippi River. So it's pretty much in our backyard. Let's see. Another big item is September's Basic Education and Literacy Month. Rotary tells me there's more than 775 million people that are illiterate over the age of 15 in the world. And if you see social media, then I think we have a good percentage in our area here, from what I've been reading. And Rotary has a good presence in that regard, and is trying to work on gender inequity in education around the world so that females can be educated to a greater degree. And let's see. This year, my friend and past district governor Linda Poobauer is heading up our Rotary Foundation, and I know she's going to be very proud of our club, as we are, and many people are. But she'll be helping out. She's got a good team of directors under her helping out, including people to help with the Paul Harris Society, which I believe, David, you said we have 5 Paul Harris Society in our club. I'm sorry.
I believe it's 5. It may be more than that. I can double check.
Okay, but it's a good. I think it's a great program, and it's, you know, breaks it down into bite-sized pieces. And one of my friends here said that, well, in fact, I've commented, I wish my cable bill and internet bill was $85 a month, which is what it takes to become a Paul Harris Society member. And I think the foundation is a good avenue to support, because it helps people that we'll never meet, we'll never be able to see the benefits of. So I think it's a true mark of giving, is to help someone who you have no chance to benefit personally. So that's why I think our foundation is just wonderful. And it's I try to take the tradition our club has been doing as long as I've been here to other clubs and show them what can be done. So that's kind of the outline of what I think is going on. So I'd open up to any questions about the district or Rotary that I know, because between those of us here, I think we could probably find the answer. So, David,
And you all will have to unmute yourself as you want to say anything similar, because I mean, I can unmute most people, but most of you should unmute yourself.
Do you think it's a wise thing that we start educating women more?
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially, you know, in these countries where they just don't have the opportunity. And that's why I was kind of pleasantly surprised that Jennifer Jones was elected. And so
Should be awesome.
oh, I know. This is, she rode in the El Tour de Tucson 4 or 5 years ago. It did, I think, maybe the 50-mile route, which is plenty if you're not an active cyclist. And another note on her husband is a physician, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And Rotarian Ralph Zook, who rode the rickshaw from here to Toronto, I believe he stayed at their house in Windsor overnight on his trip, and said how just warm and hospitable they were, and genuine, which is, you love to hear those stories. And
You need to start taking me out for training runs, see if there's any possibility that I can do the thing in April. I always joke with you that I might, but I might.
You know, there's all different kind of routes, and the fellowship is just incredible. I've developed so many good friends there, and Ernie Montaigne, which I think you know, he's,
I know Sally, she's the sane one.
oh my God, Sally is, she's having a little trouble with vision now, but they're still getting around pretty well. She and her husband are both past district governors, I believe, and she had a really great position, government as an attorney in Washington, I believe.
Yeah.
Did some great things. But
You should go back.
Ernie's about 80 years old, maybe he might be 81 now. And I've ridden with him on more than one occasion out there, and he impresses me. And we, not to be egotistical, but we impress each other because I ride a lot, and I've gotten some great pictures of him. They have Ernie hosts a cocktail party of maybe 20 or 30 people Thursday night before El Tour de Tucson. And you'll have 5 or 6 Rotary staff, General Secretary Hugo, his wife, more than one Rotary director. And what I really enjoy meeting is the staff members from Rotary who come to this. And it's kind of a lottery system. They have to earn their way through service and collecting donations and things, just like everybody else, to go. But they're so dedicated to Rotary. They may get a paycheck every 2 weeks from Rotary, but I have not met one yet who's not a member of Rotary in some club in the suburban Chicago area. And they go through the ranks just like everybody else. Some of you may know Nash Shaw from Rotary. He's in the Naperville Morning Club, I believe. He's been in Tucson more than one time. He liked it so much he came out on his own money, which is, you know, shows his dedication. And he was asking people at rest stops for money for polio. And so he's really dedicated to this program. His club, yes.
To answer your question, we have 5 Paul Harris Society members and 1 individual who could be, but is not.
Okay.
So,
Well, can we send Louis to put the hammer out, put the lean on him?
I think I can probably talk to the individual. I think I can probably say something.
Okay. Anyway, it's just been a strange year. I don't tell anybody, but I visited one club in person, so don't tell because I don't want them to fire me. They had social distancing going on. It was done very well. I've been in touch with, as you guys probably know, Todd and David, I've been in touch with lots of people. And it's, you know, it's like, well, it's kind of like juggling, I would guess.
Are you getting a few emails every day?
Yeah, I got 4 last week. Yeah, and
If you only got 4 last week, you might want to check your spam filter. I'm just saying.
yeah, and 3 were dating. 3 were from dating sites. So
Okay, then let me rephrase it. Then don't look at your spam. Go to your inbox. Okay?
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Skip the spam and just look at the inbox now. Maybe.
Yeah, that's true. But there's plenty, and you know, you learn to read fast. You can't say yes to everything.
Well, Tom, I think you'll be one of the best selections we could have made for governor because you are so flexible that, you know, who could have predicted this 95 years ago when you applied to be governor and were selected to be the DGENDXYZ. But you're handling it pretty well. I've got to believe that there's some around the world that have just thrown up their hands and walked off the stage.
I'm enjoying it because I've been able to handle problems. I'm not trying to be egotistical, but I've been thrown some pretty pretty major things in my life, starting out with a wife who died of cancer 2 years after we got married. I've lost jobs over through life, and and life happens. And I've had, in fact, I can credit my first wife, Carol, with a lot of my good attitudes that she instilled in me before she passed away. So one of the main things is be thankful in all things.
Yes.
That doesn't mean some of the things, it means everything, to the point where 3 or 4 months ago, I got pulled over by the police for being too much of a hurry to get to the bike track in the morning. And I was fortunate not to get a ticket, but I was thankful that he, saw fit to remind me to, slow it down. And even in Rotary, I've had some past district governors who've been slap me on the side of the head and say, hey, we got to do this. And that's, I appreciate that, because there's many directions we can go right now. So one advantage and disadvantage is our club. I mean, I just would think that all clubs would be like our club, and they're not like our club in many respects. Some clubs, we're talking to my friends here, but like some clubs, you take any one of our Rotarians in our club, they donate more to the foundation than an entire club does. And I'm like, I throw my hands up, pull my hair out. Why? And I'm going to clone Dr. Lindley and send him out there and get him to talk. So I think I owe the foundation I could say probably 70% of my foundation giving is a result of hearing the good news of what the foundation does. And I think we're all covered up with information now, so that's kind of a disadvantage. And I've heard that not everybody reads all their email. It's probably just a rumor, but so, yeah. But anyway, it's been strange. And
Hey, Tom,
yes,
question. In talking to the other Rotary clubs, do any of them have any, excuse me, good ideas for fundraising, either online or whatever they're doing?
I'm certainly looking at all the things I can to do that. Some are doing their events virtually. I was talking to, I think it was the Jackson Club yesterday. They used to have a pancake breakfast, but this year they're going to go to cooking chili, and they're not going to have a chili supper per se. They'll take orders, and then the people will drive up and pick up, 6 or 8 orders of chili. They're trying to do companies where the company will send a car to pick up one order. So this is the first year they're trying that. A lot of virtual things. I'm really keeping my eyes open for that, and I monitor social media for things like that, and I hope that our club would keep up with social media and let them know what we're doing, because although I haven't been to our club board meeting for several months, but it's going to be interesting. I know my son Andrew, well, I think he's laid off from Merritt. I know he's laid off from Merritt because he's a travel director, but they have a group that does online Zoom or WebEx trivia nights. And I think they charge a little bit of money for that. And there's many things you can do. I've seen Zoom happy hours, even Rotary Zoom happy hours, which are fun, where they would tell you, get your favorite cocktail or beverage and show up at 7 o'clock, and we'll shoot the breeze for a half hour. Just 1 second. In fact, they gave out glasses for the 2020-21 virtual. You can't see it. There's no way to do this. It's invisible. There it is. Kind of a highball glass for the Rotary Virtual District Governor Installation Cocktail Party. And it was kind of fun. And we somehow took turns and got to commiserate with each other. But back to fundraising, we're always looking for good ideas. Because the need isn't slowing down anywhere. In fact, it might be getting more acute. And, one thing I'm trying to want to work on is educational people in Rotary. Now that I can see all the people in Rotary in our district, we're not the only club that has school administrators in our club, which makes me think that some clubs who don't have an administrator probably need to have one from somewhere. And I look at the club memberships all over the district and kind of see who they have in their club. And many clubs don't really list what the people do in their description. So I might look at an email, and if it says like, I'm making this up, if it says John Smith at perryville.edu, I think, well, that's probably an educator. And to me, that's a good sign, because educators are a good tie to the community, and they have a good pulse of what's going on. But fundraisers are a challenge right now, and because we need to get other people's money sometime, and we're all very generous, but sometimes it helps to get other people's money to support our causes. So, good question. And if anyone hears anything, let me know.
We're proud to have you up there, Tom. Good job.
Thank you. Glad to see you. I don't know how you did that. It's probably the.
I don't know either,
like
except
Olga,
moving my table.
I thought you were doing like your Olga Corbett impersonation. I know. I won't mention some young lady named Liz who was practicing handstands the other day. So
Yeah.
that could
I
have
thought
ended.
that was you, David.
That could have ended poorly.
It could have. And if you know the room that she did it in, I'm really surprised it didn't end poorly. Because that room does not have a lot of space in it. For those that don't know, Liz was doing something. She was showing how she was doing a handstand or something that she still has limberness, which is great. But she did it in basically her front room of her apartment. And there is a lot of spare room in there. There's not a lot of straight stretch that doesn't have something in it. So surprising she didn't hit anything.
You need to tell her it's hand sanitizer, not handstand.
This is true. So.
Well, I don't have if anybody has any other questions or comments, but we're always looking. Keep your eyes open for any fundraising ideas, activities. We are people of action, so if we can find somewhere to act and do something good, let me know and we'll see if we can get it done.
You all want to come with me next week. I'm talking at the Rotary Club of Madras North in India Thursday morning at 8. So you're welcome to come. I'm not sure what time my flight leaves. I think I'll be with you on Wednesday. I said, well, I can talk for about 10 or 12 minutes. And they said, oh no, we'd like to have you for 20 or 25. And I'm like, oh, yeah. But we'll get through it.
Todd, one thing I've discovered, having done a couple over there, their time frame is entirely different than what I'm used to.
Oh man.
And I don't mean hour of the day. I'm talking about, we'll give you 20 minutes or a half an hour.
Yeah.
So I get it done and then, oh no, we got plenty of time. Just keep going.
Ooh.
Really? And I finally had to beg off of one after an hour and a half because they're still going. And I just didn't want to just, disappear.
Yeah.
But, I do have other things I was wanting to do.
Well, I've told them that, that's a day for work for me. So I've actually marked off a couple of patients, but I'm out of there about 9:30. So, and I don't think I can talk sensibly.
I don't like to complain about Dr. Lindley here in a public forum, but
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really not happy with this Zoom dentistry. It's just not working for me.
I did a telehealth visit and I fixed the patient. So
There you go.
That's all that counts.
yeah.
I am going to put out a call. First of all, the board meeting will be Tuesday. I'll be sending out information on that to the board members. what I wrote down about the fundraiser, which is what prompted me to remember all of that stuff. But the other thing is that, please, if you, I am starting to run out of ideas and contacts. When I said I'd find speakers, I wasn't anticipating third of last year and this year also. I'm just saying that that was not in my plans. I'm just throwing that one out there. So if you got ideas, if you've got thoughts, if you want to do a handstand on your own in your living room, whatever it is, please just give me some speakers to start working with so I can contact them. I have nobody for tomorrow, next week yet. I do have the 16th, but the next 2 weeks of the month are actually 3 of the 9th, 23rd, and 30th are all open. So I will be, I'll be happy to contact people. I've got some emails out, but I haven't heard back. I'm hoping to get somebody. Few of us know him, Brian Hall, through the water and sanitation, but he's also in Louisiana. They didn't get hammered as bad, but we talked to each other right before Laura hit. And so I don't know how that's screwing up his stuff. And at this point, I really don't want to bother him and say, hey, what date's going to work? Because he said some later September. So, anything anybody can throw out, I would be most happy to work with.
Could I throw out an idea to, on the 30th, have a evening meeting happy hour, catch up on what we're all doing?
We sure can.
And I almost gave our daughter Jennifer a heart attack. She came by yesterday to drop something off, and I said, Jennifer, we're going to have a new addition to the family. And she almost died, but I'm getting another bicycle because, as we all know, the number of bicycles you need is what you have plus one. And it's expected to arrive at my office later today in a big box. So I'll actually have to put it together in the office later today so I can get it home on the bike rack. But yeah, new addition. I haven't named it yet.
What kind of a bike is it?
They call it a gravel bike. It's not a mountain bike, not a road bike. The tires are about 32 millimeters wide, which is about that wide instead of that wide. No shock absorber, disc brakes, fairly light, but good for the Katy Trail, things like that, because a regular road bike can be kind of skittish. And when you have a $3,000 to $4,000 road bike, you don't want to be flipping gravel up on that carbon fiber frame very much, because it's very strong until it's not. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Bob.
Well, I have a suggestion. Well, what if I know he's busy, but what if Mike gave us a little update as to what's happened with the school and what he's dealt with and how, if it's been resolved after a couple of weeks. Just a thought.
I can most certainly email him and see what, he may not have time till October or something, but there's no harm in asking when.
I've got a question for you. I've noticed on Facebook Marketplace and various other places where bicycles, that the disc brakes, that's kind of interesting to me on a bicycle. When did that come about, and how are they compared to the old claw brakes on the...
Well, they've been around about 10 years, more prolific now. In fact, I won't say that over to my right is the Tour de France going on muted right now. But I won't say that because, wait, hold it. But they do better in the wet because caliper brakes you have to get the water off. They're pretty effective. I have one bike now. Today I'll have two that have disc brakes, and they work real well. They're not as if the wheel's out of a line on a caliper brake, the brakes will rub because the wheel wobbles, and they're pretty effective. I know in the old days when you had a bicycle with chrome-plated steel wheels, if it was wet, you had no brakes at all. It was terrible. And I remember a few years ago, like 40 years ago, I did a charity ride at Forest Park, and coming down the hill toward on the bike trail going westbound, paralleling 40 near the zoo parking lot, coming down the long hill fast in the rain, and I could hardly stop, and there were people standing on the trail. I almost took them out, but I didn't. So, but that was because of chrome-plated steel wheels. But disc brakes are very effective. Some are hydraulic, some are mechanical. They work great. They probably require less adjustment. But I was telling, I had to buy some new parts for my new bike, you know, bike water bottle cages, and bikes don't come with pedals anymore. And the bike shops are stripped clean. There's hardly anything there because so many people are riding bikes now. I get out on the bike trail. Well, actually, I try to avoid some of the bike trails because they're so crowded with, and I don't mean this badly, they're amateurs and they don't know what they're doing. I don't post nearly as many rides. I post them on a thing called Strava every day that I ride. But, you know, I can do a route from like Creve Coeur Lake, across the Missouri River, through Old Town St. Charles. There's a new bike lane across the Discovery Bridge. And you can come back Earth City Expressway on a weekend. There's nobody there. It's dead. There's, you know, it's well, St. Louis on the weekend used to be good except for the gun casings, but I rode Saturday or Sunday in the Riverfront Trail, and there were actually gun casings in the parking lot. So, but anyway, disc brakes are good. They stop well, and that can be important. And I encourage people to wear a helmet. One of our office workers' 14-year-old daughter fractured her skull on a bike wreck about a week ago, and she's going to be fine, but broken collarbone and fractured skull. They have they have a new type helmet called MIPS, MIPS, which is Multiple Impact Protection System, which has got a liner inside the helmet that kind of shifts, because if you hit the ground with your helmet, the helmet can stick and then twist your head. And the MIPS inside that will let the helmet shift, but your head won't. It's supposed to be safer because I need all the safety help I can get. They say it's not if you're going to crash, it's when. And knock on, it's been quite a while. Very thankful of that. So anyway, that's the good news about the bicycle. I'll have to name it. My red bike, which I bought 10 years ago and taken to Tucson 9 of the 10 times, it's in the shop getting repainted, which is only a 4-week process. I took everything off the bike that I could, and the bicycle frame weighs about what a 16-ounce bottle of water weighs. It's incredibly light, and which makes it incredibly expensive per pound. Obviously, I'm not a drug dealer, but I suspect that it's more expensive than cocaine. But it's really light, and so I'll be excited to get it back in a couple of weeks. And
so, how many bikes do you own, Tom?
probably about 5 or 6. But if I ride them each equally, that'd be 1,000 miles a year, because I'm on target for about, I'm going to try for 6,000 this year. The numbers don't change. I've got to ride just under 20 miles every single day to make that happen, which is easy now, but might be a little more fun in late December. The trick is get out, get a long, I try to get a long ride in on the weekend, 40, 50 miles. But even with COVID, it's different for me because this, this sounds too much information, but you got to plan your bathroom stops pretty well because, people aren't just saying, oh yeah, come on and use our bathroom. Well, and water stops, you have to take enough water. And so, but it's like Todd Lindley goes to the gym a lot. Well, the bicycle is my gym. Just the view changes every day, most days.
Good.
So David, we got to figure out why I'm so flickering. I don't have have much else running here. I know Joy had left for a little while to pick up something. So,
I'll send you a couple suggestions. One of, well, we can talk, let's put it that way.
yeah,
So,
I actually have, in the background, I have another computer on the other side of the room that I just switched over there. It seemed to work, which, does the virtual background eat up some use?
no, I have a feeling it's the wires with the camera that's shorting out somewhere that may or may not be. Is that an external camera or a built-in?
It's external.
Okay. And it could be, it's a USB connector.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be that it's just not getting perfect connection, that's all. The USBs, after a certain point, they tend to lose, they'll widen up just enough. So I got a couple ideas.
Do you think it'd be, I mean, they're not expensive, maybe just to buy
Yeah.
upgraded camera a little bit?
Yep. And to be honest, and yeah, this is district business, but you can, that's perfectly acceptable on a expense report. There's no reason, because it's required for what you're doing right now.
No,
So you can go out and buy the $5,000 camp. No, don't. No.
this one might have been $40.
Yeah.
Something like that. And wait, oh, no. It's probably just struggling with, I'm so good looking, it can't handle it.
Okay. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna finish. I'm gonna mute Tom. We can keep going from there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
You have to remember, Tom. I have the power. I can mute. I can remove. I can just plain old stop your video.
there you go. Then I'll just go to work.
Yeah, and then as soon as you get going, I can have you redo it, and never mind. You can start your video. I was just being obnoxious, but that, that's the power of being the host. So anyway,
There you go.
no,
Well, thanks.
it's been good. Really, don't say anything.
You're not flickering.
You're not flickering at all.
We could have, on the 30th, we could recreate Dance Fever with Danny Terrio.
No.
No? Okay.
You have to remember, I'm setting up the meeting, okay? I'm just
And you
the
could
kids
have,
asked me yesterday, well, do you dance? I looked at them and said, the words I was thinking of, are you shitting me? And I knew I couldn't say that. So I just said, really? And that's as good as I could come up with at that point. So anyway, no.
what did you do, David? Because it's really, I'm not.
Sometimes killing your video and bringing it back on again will make a difference.
I know, because you guys are like family to me, all of you. And so it's, I can kid and say, well, I don't need this flickering on the dating sites I'm on.
No.
I tell Joy, I says, I'm not having much luck on Christian Mingle. It just, I'm striking out. So, and Rotary, where else can you break all four of the four-way test in one fell swoop? So.
Well, at least it was this meeting. Just don't repeat that.
I know.
Anywhere. I'm just saying, that might not go over too well down in Hayti. I'm just suggesting. Anyway. Well,
And
we appreciate what you're doing. Having done the job before,
Yeah,
it ain't easy.
I premised, Dave Robinette told me to say this.
No.
No, actually, for help, call Dave. And he's been very helpful.
It's the answer to previous question.
Oh, anyway, that's really all I have. Dave, we got to get together later. I've got to finish up the September memo. I just had those two big blocks, one from Linda Pubauer, one from Jill.
I haven't gotten Linda's. I got Jill's, but I didn't get Linda's. So if she sent it, you'll need to forward it to me.
Okay, I'll send you. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm glad you said that.
Okay.
Well, that's all I have. Thank you, everybody. Proud to represent you guys. And
I don't guess we can have a friends night out at Fallon's and do social distancing, can we?
I would do something outside, perhaps, maybe somewhere. Where you could distance.
Depends on what their.
Or she might have to come to St. Charles,
St.
St. Charles side and Cyborg.
They're open 11 to 9 Tuesday
Be
and
nice to
11
get together, and do a
10
social.
Friday.
Don't they have outside seating?
They have some.
Yeah.
Olivet is open
Yeah.
11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Suburbs out here.
I'm just looking it up. They're not saying much else on their website. Their Facebook page might say more. That's something we can look into.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
you might come to the St. Charles side if St. Louis has got more restrictions, but like Simon's out, he's got a Midver's got a outdoor eating too.
We can talk about it at the board. I'll put it
Be
down,
nice to see everybody.
Yeah.
put it down and see what we come up with. I'll make sure it's on the agenda. All right. Thanks, Carolyn.
Would we do the last Friday of the month? Or would it matter?
I'm sorry,
Would
say
it
that
matter
again.
what date we did it?
We'd have,
Would we do it on the last Friday or last Wednesday of the month, or does it matter which date we film with it?
I don't know. I'll bring it up to the board. And we can kick
Okay.
around the ideas and what we come up with, and it'll give time too
Okay.
to look to see what they are doing at this point. Also,
Right,
how much their what their limit is and so on and so forth.
right. Okay.
Just as a comment, I think we need to really be careful with social distancing because we all feel like family, but I'm not doing a lot of stuff out in the world a lot, but still we're out and we don't want to bring anything with us that we don't know we have. And so I think we just got to be extra careful because, we all feel like family. It's really easy, I just want to hug out everybody in our family here and we can't do that yet. So.
Right.
Tom, thank you for all you're doing.
Well, thank you,
Appreciate
Brian.
it. Dave, I know you're helping him. So
Yep.
thanks to both of you and appreciate it. It's good to hear what's going on in the Rotary world. Do you have a joke that you do on your club, since you're going from club to club, do you have a specific joke that you do?
Not yet. I'll have to come up with one. I know Dr. Albin was on the school board with me for years. He and I toured around a bunch of the 9 city halls in the Rittner area, and he told the same joke everywhere. And it was about the wintertime. KMOX would broadcast that the snowstorm coming and be sure to park your car on the north side of the street so the snowplows could get through. And a couple were real confused, and the wife finally said, "Well, honey, why don't you just park the car in the garage? It'd be a lot easier." But he told that every time, and it. I don't know if I told it pretty poorly then, and it was just fun to see it. But I like to be funny off the cuff. It's more fun that way, I think, because.
Well,
It is.
I have a bad one for you, Tom.
Please go ahead.
Why don't ants get coronavirus?
Oh, I think I know, but I'll leave it to you.
I don't know.
Because they have antibodies. Told you it was bad.
It was bad.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, no, just kidding. This went south quick.
I'm gonna head out. Thank you, Dave.
Y'all take care. I'll send information out. We'll figure out next week. Thank you all.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.